Good morning, everyone. My name's Michael. I'm the pastor here at Sacred Ground Community Church and Sangha, and I welcome you. We are committed to bringing together the beneficial teachings of Buddhism, Christianity, and earth-centered spirituality, of watering beneficial seeds in ourselves and each other, and trying to add to what is healing, healthy, and hopeful. Another important element for us is presence. We're grounded by Thich Nhat Hanh's teachings, and so I have here my Tibetan singing bowl, and the invitation is for us to just enjoy the sound of the bell. You might have been running around this morning, you decided to get on the internet for this program, or maybe you're watching this recording, or maybe you're just kind of zipping through things, and the invitation is just to take a breath and get present and enjoy the sound of the bell. This recording is being made on January 31st, and in the Irish and Celtic tradition, we're at a holiday time. I was reading a Catholic priest that I really enjoy, Edward Hayes. He says, we really need a holiday between Valentine's Day and Christmas or New Year's. He says, because, the wintry weather, at least for those of us in the north. I know there's some folks down in Texas right now not experiencing that, but we have it. We have Imbolc. This is the time, traditionally, when the sheep would begin lactating. And it was also seen as the beginning of summer, which is so funny since we just had a snowstorm last night, one of our biggest storms. And so there's snow all over. We've got more snow coming, and it might be a little bit strange to think of February as the beginning of summer, but we'll explore that a little bit more here this morning. I'm going to begin with a reading from the Hebrew Bible, Psalm 104. And one of the things I love about the Judeo-Christian tradition is so many people think of the Jewish or Christian traditions as separating us from the earth, denying our connection to the earth. Well, I invite you to listen to Psalm 104. I'll ring the bell, and I'll be reading verses 10 through 30 of the psalm today. And for those of us who grew up in the Jewish or Christian tradition, I like to think about, wow, my great-grandfather, my great-grandmothers, they may have heard this same psalm, reflected on it back in the 1800s, and here I have an opportunity, or we have an opportunity, to do the same today. The psalmist is speaking to the Lord. You make springs gush forth in the valleys. They flow between the hills, giving drink to every wild animal. The wild asses quench their thirst. By the streams, the birds of the air have their habitations. They sing among the branches. From your lofty abode, you water the mountains. The earth is satisfied with the fruit of your work. You cause the grass to grow for the cattle and plants for people to use, to bring forth food from the earth and wine to gladden the human heart, oil to make the face shine, and bread to strengthen the human heart. The trees of the Lord are watered abundantly, the cedars of Lebanon that he planted. In them the birds build their nests, the stork has its home in the fir trees, the high mountains are for the wild goats, the rocks are a refuge for the conies. You have made the moon to mark the seasons. The sun knows its time for setting. You make darkness and it is night, when all the animals of the forest come creeping out. The young lions roar for their prey, seeking their food from God. When the sun rises, they withdraw and lie down in their dens. People go out to their work and to their labor until the evening. O Lord, how manifold are your works. In wisdom you have made them all. The earth is full of your creatures. Yonder is the sea, great and wide. Creeping things innumerable are there. Living things both small and great. There go the ships and Leviathan that you formed to sport in it. These all look to you, to give them their food in due season. When you give to them, they gather it up. When you open your hand, they are filled with good things. When you hide your face, they are dismayed. When you take away their breath, they die and return to their dust. When you send forth your Spirit, they are created, and you renew the face of the ground. Psalm 104, verses 10 through 30.
Our second reading today is from Thich Nhat Hanh, from his book Love Letter to the Earth. And it's a section titled, Father, Son, My Heart. Dear Father, Son, your infinite light is the nourishing source of all species. You are our sun, our source of limited light and life. Your light shines upon Mother Earth, offering us warmth and beauty, helping Mother Earth to nourish us and make life possible for all species. Looking deeply into Mother Earth, I see in you, Mother Earth. You aren't only in the sky, but you are also ever present in Mother Earth and in me. Every morning you manifest from the east, a glorious rosy orb shining radiantly in the 10 directions. You are the kindest of fathers with a great ability to understand and be compassionate. And yet at the same time, you are incredibly bold and courageous. The light particles you radiate travel over 150 million kilometers from your immensely hot crown to reach us here on Earth in just over 8 minutes. Every second you offer a small portion of yourself to the earth in the form of light energy. You are present in every leaf, every flower, and every living cell. But day by day, your great physical mass of fusing plasma, 330,000 times the size of our Earth, is slowly diminishing. Within the next 10 billion years, most of it will transform into energy, radiating throughout the cosmos. And even though you will no longer be visible in your present form, you will be continued in every photon you have emitted. Nothing will be lost, only transformed. Dear Father, your creative synergy with Mother Earth makes life possible. Mother's slight tilt in her orbit offers us the 4 extraordinary seasons. Her miracle of photosynthesis harnesses your energy and creates oxygen for the atmosphere to protect us from your blazing ultraviolet radiation. Over the eons, Mother has skillfully harvested and stored your sunlight to sustain her children and enhance her beauty. Birds can enjoy soaring through the sky, and deer can enjoy darting through the woods because of your creative harmony with Mother Earth. Each species can delight in its element thanks to your nourishing light and the miraculous canopy of the atmosphere embracing, protecting, and nourishing us all. There is a heart inside of each and every one of us. If our hearts were to stop beating, then we would die instantly. But when we look up towards the sky, we know that you, Father, Son, are also our heart. You aren't just outside of this tiny body of ours. You are within every cell of our body and the body of Mother Earth. Dear Father, you are an integral part of the whole cosmos and our solar system. If you were to disappear, then our life, as well as that of Mother Earth, would also end. I aspire to look deeply to you, to see you, Father, Son, as my heart, and to see the interrelationship, the interbeing nature between Father, Son, Mother Earth, myself, and all living beings. I aspire to practice to love Mother Earth, Father, Son, and for human beings to love one another with the radiant insight of non-duality and interbeing in order to help us transcend all kinds of discrimination, fear, jealousy, resentment, hatred, and despair.
Our third and final reading today comes from Thomas Traherne. Thomas Traherne was a Christian mystic who lived in England in the 1600s, in the 17th century. And he wrote a series of meditations that are usually grouped in groups of 100, and so they're called centuries. And this is from the first century. This is from meditation number 46. So, nearly 400 years ago. It was God's wisdom that made you need the sun. It was His goodness that made you need the sea. Be sensible of what you need, or enjoy neither. Consider how much you need the sun and the sea, for thence they derive their value. Suppose the sun were extinguished, or the sea were dry. There would be no light, no beauty, no warmth, no fruits, no flowers. No pleasant gardens, feasts, or prospects. No wine, no oil, no bread, no life, no motion. Would you not give all the gold and silver in the Indies for such a treasure? Prize it now, as you have it, and you shall be a grateful creature. Nay, you shall be a divine and heavenly person. For they in heaven prize blessings when they have them. Ollie will now lead us in guided meditation.
Well, welcome everyone, and today I'm going to do a little guided meditation, a little play on Imbolc and the beginning of spring. And like Michael said, here in Columbus, we have snow covering all our outside, and so it's very fun thinking about spring just beginning and what that means. And when I was thinking about this, I thought about a story of St. Francis. And actually, I heard this story in a Thich Nhat Hanh book, and where he tells the story of St. Francis going up to an almond tree and asking the almond tree to speak to him of God. And when he did this to the almond tree burst into full bloom right there. And it was in the middle of winter. And the almond tree just burst into bloom. And so Thich talks about that story as how God is aliveness, and the almond tree coming alive, that was showing us God. And he talks about it in a Buddhist way of it showing us also the ultimate dimension, speaking of God as being the ultimate dimension. So being able to see on this cold day here in Columbus, and people are joining us from all over, but can we really see around us that spring is coming? And the Celts, with Michael mentioned this with Imbolc, is when the ewes started lactating. So they started producing milk again. And so they were seeing spring. And even here in Columbus, starting in February, I've done many walks with children and seeing spring starting, that we'll start seeing crocuses and other flowers that are just going to start coming up probably in the next 2 or 3 weeks. We'll see buds starting on trees, and we'll see them in the next couple weeks. Just start, and each week a little bit more. But right now we're going to play a little bit with this guided meditation of what can we see in the trees that don't seem like they're alive right now, but we're going to see if we can see spring in them. So I'd like everybody, if you'd like, just to get in a comfortable seat, and I want us to kind of be in our bodies a little bit. So you want to sit up and really feel, if you feel your spine and feel your body, that you really are connecting with it. Feel your shoulders. Take a deep breath in and out. Just feel that coming in your body. Place your hands and your arms in a way that you feel your arms and hands. Maybe move your neck and feel yourself stretch a little bit, just to feel your body coming alive a little bit and connecting with it. And then finally, feel your legs and your feet, and maybe your seat, that you're grounded in the earth. And feel yourself grounded in your body. And I'm going to ring the bell and then let us start. So in your grounded body and feeling your aliveness, take a deep breath in. Feel the air coming into your body, and then you slowly release. Take another deep breath in. And slowly release. I want you to imagine a tree around you. Maybe one not in bloom. If you're in a place where they all are in bloom, then try to just imagine one that's not in bloom. I'm going to imagine in our front yard we have 2 cherry trees. Right now, there's snow around them. There's kind of small cherry trees. Um, no buds on them yet. Just imagine them there, brown and bare, sitting in the snow. We're just going to keep breathing in and out as we imagine these trees. Feel the coldness of winter around as you're breathing in and out, looking at the tree that you've decided to look at in your mind's eye as you're breathing in and out. I just want you to slowly imagine the first signs of spring, where you see the buds starting to emerge on the tree. It could be buds that are going to lead to the flowers or lead to the leaves. You're going to breathe in and out and just imagine that tree slowly coming to life. And maybe now the buds get bigger. And on our cherry tree, a slight white flower will start to come out as we breathe in and out. And the leaves will start to slowly unfold. The flowers will start to come into more brilliance. You might want to imagine the sun shining down on your tree. So you breathe in and out. On my tree, I see bees and flies and other flying insects around the flowers in the sun, all around the tree as we breathe in and out. I see the leaves coming out really in their brilliance now, and the flowers dying away and slowly emerging a little tiny green ball out of each flower as we breathe in and out. And as the sun shines, I see those little cherries growing. They're just green balls that get bigger and bigger on the tree. As the sun shines, the earth warms up as we breathe in and out. And with a cherry tree, very soon those round green balls start to turn red. They're a slight red, and very quickly they turn into a bright, brilliant red. You see the big cherries and the leaves on the tree all bursting to life in the summer as we breathe in and out. And I'm even going to imagine tasting one of those cherries. Our cherries are tart cherries. So we take one of the bright red cherries off as we breathe in and out. And if our mind's eye can go, that we imagine that tree, the cherries are all gone now, but the leaves are still there as we go through the summer. So we're breathing in and out. And in the fall, that tree, the leaves are going to turn brown and start to fall off. So we breathe in and out. I'm going to bring us back to winter. As the tree is bare, there's snow around, it's cold. We've gone through the circle of the year as we breathe in and out. We breathe in and out. And we have asked for the tree to speak to us as God, and we see that in this tree that looks like it's dead right now, there's potential for life, and it comes to life. And that aliveness, that we can see that even when it's not there, that is seeing God. That is seeing the ultimate dimension as we breathe in and out.
Thank you, Ollie, for that guided meditation. I'll do the bell one more time. I'll mention right now at the close of the service, I'll have a closing prayer, but if anybody would like to add any prayers at that time, that would be lovely if you feel so moved. As we were doing that meditation, I found myself thinking a little bit about our planet Earth, and I kind of put it at an angle because we're at an angle going around the sun, and how everything we're talking about is also connected at this level, that those sheep start lactating in Ireland way back when, just as the Earth gets to about this point in its annual journey. And I think there's a part of me that, I look at the snow out there and I go, oh my gosh, how can you talk about spring coming or spring being here, this idea from Imbolc, when there's all this winter, this snow right here. And I think that's me slipping into my linear thinking and forgetting that I live within circles and cycles. Even if we think, as we traditionally do, of the spring equinox in March as the turning of the year and spring, it's not that one day there's winter and then poof, then the next there's spring. We're in this continual evolution. We're in this continual movement. The spinning ball and the spinning circle with our solar system spinning around the great Milky Way galaxy and this expansive universe. And as we were talking about and visualizing the cherry tree, I found myself thinking about, Thomas Traherne, back in the 1600s, he was watching every year when the trees would bud and blossom and bear fruit. And I was thinking of Psalm 104, and the psalmist, we don't know exactly when this was written, maybe 2,500 years ago, maybe 3,000 years ago, and is speaking of the cedar trees and the storks and the wild goats. Well, those cedar trees and storks and wild goats, they're not the ones that are here right now. They're the ancestors. And yet they are the ones that are here right now, right? Because we're all connected. And this lovely way that Thai speaks of father-son, and of course you may have heard the parallels between Thich Nhat Hanh just a couple of years ago and Thomas Traherne centuries ago and this psalm thousands of years ago and St. Francis, and this invitation that children offer us all the time. We happen to have a 6-year-old granddaughter, a 3-year-old grandson, and another little one that we're still waiting for, who's coming any day. But I imagine that when our grandchildren got up this morning, they looked out and they saw this snow, because it just started snowing around 11 p.m. And they were like, wow, let's get outside, let's go play. How many of us at age 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 look outside and go, oh, damn. It's cold. Oh, it's rainy today. A Tibetan Buddhist teacher says, when we have no sense of a wide open sky above and a lush green earth below, it becomes very difficult to expand our vision. In the last 50 years or so in America, we've talked a lot about how people have to love themselves. That is awesome. But one of the problems is that sometimes we think of ourselves as separate from that cherry tree, separate from the sun that's in our heart, separate from the sea, separate from the snow. Traherne says it so beautifully. He's like, what is heaven? Heaven is to live in gratitude for what you need and have. And what is hell? To not be grateful for what you have and need. How many of us can slip into, oh, it's so hot, or it's so cold, or it's so... Thank goodness for this little range of temperatures that we have on this planet. And of course, that's all at risk. My invitation to self, and my invitation to each of you, is to offer a different story than this idea that the sun is separate from us, or those cherry blossoms, or that cold air. I think sometimes when we put down the weather or put down the seasons, in some ways we're putting down ourselves. We're denying a part of the necessary part of what we are. If you have kids or kiddos in your life, they will probably be willing to help you. We have a dear friend, and she says it well. She says, there's no such thing as bad weather, there's just bad dressing. So you don't have to be out there, shivering. Put on some warm stuff. If you're in the cold climate as we are right now. And get out there and play. And that play can just be the smile on your face as you're walking down the path. It could be building a snow fort, but Jesus often says, if they have but eyes to see. I don't understand the world and the universe and God. And if any of you do, you can explain it to me. But I do know this. It's pretty amazing that we're here. It's pretty incredible that we can still hear the words of a psalmist who spoke thousands of years ago. That we could still get the ideas from St. Francis and I'll say St. Thomas Traherne and St. Thich Nhat Hanh. And the saints who are our children, our nephews, our nieces, the kiddos in the neighborhood who are all there to show us, wow. This thing of the tree changing that Ollie spoke of, this ain't something that just happens now, 2021, 2022, 2023. This has been happening for a long, long time. How amazing. How amazing to live in this. What a blessing. Happy Imbolc. I'll do the bell one more time. Buddhism is great for teaching us that there's only one place where we can find all this heaven. In this present moment. Ollie will share a few announcements with us about upcoming programs and other things going on with Sacred Ground Community Church and Sangha. And then I'll offer a closing prayer, and if anybody else would like to add to that prayer, we'll have an opportunity for that right then.
So if anybody's interested in finding a little bit more about us, you can go to theholynow.org, and that is our website, and you can find out lots about us there, including some of the things that are coming up. We actually have a daily musings. Michael does some daily musings, usually short little Dharma talks and readings, 3 to 7 minutes long, Mondays through Thursdays. And we have 16 of those up already. And you could either go to our website, theholynow.org. You can go to our podcast site, which is lifeisart.lifeisprayer.com. And we're also on YouTube at Sacred Ground on YouTube. And you can see those daily musings. You either can listen to them or you could watch them on YouTube. They're available. And you can subscribe. Upcoming things, we have a men's mindfulness group that meets on every other Monday. Right now it is on Zoom. So anyone from all over the world could join us. It's Mondays at 7 p.m. The next one will be Monday, February 8th. if you're interested in that. And those are from 7 to 8:30 every other Monday on Zoom. We have a Dharma discussion group that meets every other Wednesdays. The next one will be February 10th, and that's at 7 p.m. too. And that is not on Facebook. That is just on Zoom. So if you'd like to do that, you could register for those. The information, again, is on our website, theholynow.org. You could actually get on our email list, so we'd send you an email about that, and it's also listed on Facebook. The next Sunday morning service will be in 2 weeks. It'll be Valentine's Day in 2 weeks, so I'm sure we'll have a theme that surrounds that. We are also starting our annual seed sale, which is a fundraiser, tomorrow. And we'll be sending out an email for those on our email list about that. I'll probably put something up on Facebook too. The seed sale will be for 2 weeks. It'll end on February 15th. So we have a catalog. You can look and order seeds if you'd like to support us that way. You also, if you want to support us, another way you can donate on our website. There's a donations spot on our website, theholynow.org. Thanks for joining us so much. And again, you can contact us on our website or get on our email list and contact us that way. Michael's going to end with a closing prayer for us today.
I'll do the bell here, and if anybody who's with us or possibly on Zoom, if you'd like to type something in that you'd like to share, and Ollie, if you could help with that to highlight anyone, and then we'll see if anybody'd like to share, and then I'll offer a closing prayer. First, I'll again invite the bell to sound, and a simple way, there's a lot of different ways we could describe what we're trying to do here, but one way that I like to say it, and again, I'm drawing from the Buddhist monk Thich Nhat Hanh, is we hope to water beneficial seeds. We all have fear in us, we all have anger in us, we all have craving, we have pride, we have all these things, but we also have playfulness, and we have gratitude, and we have silliness, and we have kindness, and we have lightness and compassion. And so our aspiration is to water those seeds that are beneficial. And that's everything we do. If it ain't doing that, then we're not doing what we're setting out to do. So that's our aspiration. Here's the bell, and then we'll have the prayer. And again, the invitation is to kind of let go of our thoughts, let go of our worries, our concerns, our thoughts for further in the day, and to just be right in this moment. And if you're watching this as a recording, you could still join and just be in this moment. Enjoy the sound of the bell. And we'll allow a minute if anybody'd like to share. Oh, there we go. This is, let's see.
Okay, I got a mini share. One thing I've discovered, 3-4 years ago, is if, like this God, worship God, love God with all thy heart, mind, and soul, is like confounding or a little bit abstract. The word I love to substitute is life, a capital L. Worship life, love life with all your heart, mind, and soul. So that works a lot better for me, worshiping life, than the man with the beard or whatever. So I'll pass that on because it's just so freeing and so accurate, I think.
We have another sharing here from Carol. She says, praying for our civilization to learn that we can accept and realize the beauty and wonder of our lives and planet. Live in and not in an either-or way. Live in love, not fear. Personally, I think of the Great Sacred or God. I think of it in some ways similar to how I think of the natural world, that in some ways I'm in relationship with, but also I'm a part of. And however you think of it is fine. Whatever works for us, whatever we do that adds to what's beneficial, healing, caring, loving. With that, I invite you, if you'd like, into a place of prayer. Thomas Traherne from hundreds of years ago Thich Nhat Hanh from a few years ago, St. Francis from hundreds of years ago, the psalmist from thousands of years ago. They all invite us into gratitude. We all have pain, some much more than others. There is great suffering. But, Great Sacred, we ask you to help us to open our hearts, our minds, our souls, our bones, our muscles, our spirits, to what is so amazing and abounding. And like Father, Son, and the great seas, necessary. May we create spaces to simply be in thanks. To simply say thank you, thank you, thank you. And may we know that from our hearts of gratitude, there will be reverberations out to those who maybe cannot yet feel gratitude because they're so overwhelmed with pain or suffering or hurt. May we know that if we can enter that space of smiling at the cherry tree in winter, laughing at the snowfall and the rainfall. That this will indeed help us to add to the good and to be of benefit as these beings on this spinning ball, circling round and round and round. Peace and amen. We thank you all for joining us. We thank you for watching. If you enjoy this, we encourage you to share it with others. This recording will be up and available. And check out our other stuff. We need each other. Whether you need sacred ground or not, we, as human beings, we need each other. We are not living in easy times. May we work together to add to what's beneficial for our fellow humans and for all beings. Peace and amen. Kind of a prayer within a prayer within a prayer. That's the goal, right? That's the name of one of our websites, Life as Art, Life as Prayers. So enjoy the art of it as well. Blessings all, and thanks for joining us, and we look forward to being with you all again, hopefully real soon. Peace.